Business News.
Okay, well, coming up next on Street Signs, beating the
Mega
odds.
mania, right? Everybody's eyes are on the jackpot. So let's get some stock picks for your portfolio and advice on what to do if you win. Tyler Vernon joining us. He is Chief Investment Officer at Biltmore Capital Advisors. A lot of his clients, in a way, kind of did win the lottery, right? Yeah. UPS is a big client of yours, and a lot of the drivers, all of a sudden they went public and they found themselves very wealthy overnight. What would your first one or two pieces of advice be for someone who wins a ton of money? What do you do?
Well, Brian, first of all, the sharks come, right? I mean, you have some money, all of a
Shark
sudden...
meaning cousin Elmo who wants something in a restaurant.
Exactly, or the buddy from high school that hasn't talked to you in 15 years. So you get these people that pop out of the woodwork. So the first advice is probably to shut off the phone. But more real, a lot of what we do is protect clients from themselves, right? I mean, they make decisions, they create risks that they really don't have to create. We have clients that put a lot of their wealth in startup companies, or they gave money to a buddy, and all of a sudden their life has changed. So I think just getting with a group of people who know what to do with that kind of wealth, that can help them make right decisions, is certainly the way to start.
Essentially an intelligent gatekeeper. Yesterday the odds were about 1 in 176 million in terms of winning the lottery. If you had a stock that gave you better odds than that, what would it be, your long shot?
Well, I think we changed the long shot because of the liquidity of it. But Seadrill is a really interesting company. This company, if you believe in what's happening with oil, right, you have 1 billion people in China that are instead of riding bicycles, they're starting to get cars, and this is creating this demand. And the issue is there's not enough oil out there. It's harder and harder to find. So they have to go to harsher environments, deeper drilling. SDRL, it gives about a 9% dividend.
A 9% dividend.
So they're getting paid a lot to wait for a catalyst. Obama's talked about drilling in the Atlantic or drilling in other areas.
But this is more than just a dividend play, isn't it?
It's more than a dividend play. I mean, if we get some Republicans in office, I mean, this thing could really move. It's moved already. It's pulled back a little bit. It's more than a dividend play. It could give a lot of upside here.
You also like FedEx, which is interesting, and no offense to your client base as well with UPS. I mean, you got to pick them both. We talked about Best Buy hurting because they can't compete against.
For the record, I didn't say I like FedEx.
Oh, you didn't?
No, we don't like FedEx.
It was a graphic that said Vernon likes.
Well,
FedEx was the number one thing.
I have some
Maybe that's what he likes to send his parcels.
You know what? Hey, if you're a UPS driver with a bunch of stock, that's good diversification. Buy both, right? I would advise that.
You could do that.
Well, how about this? I think it's FCX is what you wanted. Freeport McMoran.
Yeah, Freeport, it's a great company. What's happened here is that the China story has been way overblown as far as the pullback in the stock. Everybody's talking about a hard landing. The company has pulled back. If anybody can make money in copper, this company can. They restructured debt, and again, it's a great entry point, and this thing could move.
Just real quick, end of the quarter now. We've seen a bit of churn, a bit of reshuffling of portfolios last few days. Moving into the second quarter, what kind of gains do you think we can get? Do you think that the gains have been front-loaded essentially for this year?
I think they're front-loaded, although you can't argue with the steam that this economy has, right? So I think investors are going to be between a rock and a hard place. I think we're going to have great economic data, but a slowdown in fundamental earnings. So I think we're going to see a few more percentage points, but nothing like we saw in the first quarter.
All right, stick around, Tyler. Stick around. We're not done with it yet, man, all right? Because we thought we'd take a gamble.
Growth, and then you start looking at the margins, and it's going south. And you start looking at the rest of them. Radio Shack has good free cash flow, but the rest of it looks so dicey. So which really could it be?
Well,
what do you think?
Well, I think if you look at RIM, one of the issues is everybody I talk to with the BlackBerry, they're switching to the iPhone. So forget the numbers for a minute. Yeah. Everybody I talk to, and being in finance, a lot of us use BlackBerries. And it's amazing the amount of people that are switching to the iPhone. So I just see this.
And corporations as a whole, it's not even.
Let me make it clear. I'm not sitting here saying RIM is the one to choose.
It's talking about options, ways to bet, for the stock is options on that stock. That would have been a great way to spin it. Buying call options on Wall Street, all Wall Street.
With BHP and Rio, commodities are just a fad,
Like the internet.
Yeah.
It's just a fad.